Hey guys, tonight we're doing something different. Imagine you're driving through the back roads of a state you don't even remember entering. No GPS, no reception, no reason to be out this far. But there it is, just past a bend in the road that isn't on any map, a glowing neon sign flickering the words gas and service. You didn't even mean to stop. Your car did it for you, sputtering like it agreed you needed a break here. It's quiet. Quiet like the kind you feel in your chest. The air is cool, almost damp, and there's this faint humming sound that's not from the lights, not from the power lines. You feel it more than hear it. The smell? A little like motor oil and pine needles. And the station? Old, too old. Brick. Facade faded to pinkish grey, windows fogged from the inside, and not a single road leading in or out. It just is. You're standing there thinking, I'm either about to learn something or disappear forever. And honestly, either sounds better than sitting in that car one more hour. You sure wouldn't survive in a horror movie. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're here, drop your city and local time in the comments. I love seeing where you're tuning in from. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You step forward, your shoes brushing over cracked concrete. The gas station stands there like a postcard misplaced in time. Warped tin roof, red gas sign blinking in broken rhythm as if sending Morse code from 1960. Inside the fogged windows, a dim yellow light is still on. Someone turned it on. But who? You push the door. It opens easily, like it was oiled yesterday. A chill air hits you, carrying a mix of gasoline and old paper. The oak counter is stained and time-worn, the cash register a round button relic. A small chalkboard behind. The counter reads, "Well, welcome, traveller." There's no one inside, no radio, no hum of appliances, just the distinct sense someone left the moment you walked in. You can't explain how you know that, but your goosebumps seem to. To the right, there's a dusty shelf. On it, old maps, Zippo lighters, mouthwash from a brand discontinued in 1985. Each item feels like it belongs to a life you've never lived. You pick up a hand towel. Under the thin dust, it still smells like detergent. Behind the counter is a staff room door. You knock 3 times politely. No answer. You push. It's unlocked. Inside, a small break room, wooden chair, vintage coffee machine, wall clock frozen at 3:12. On the table, a half-full cup of coffee. Still warm? You don't drink it. You're not that foolish. In the corner, a bookshelf. You glance, almanacs, road guides, one labeled Service Station Procedures, Confidential. You flip to a random page and read, if the station is operating without any traffic, check its level of presence. What? A station operating without roads? You return to the counter to peer outside again. Through the glass, the scenery looks fuzzy. Not from fog, more like you're viewing through a thin veil of time. You try to look back where your car should be. It's still there. But the road that brought you? Gone, as if you never drove in. As if you and the car just appeared. You feel something behind you, not wind, not a sound, a presence. You turn. No one, just the board. Now changed to read, pump 1 ready. You didn't touch anything, didn't say anything, but the fuel pump outside begins to move. Slowly, it lifts itself from the hook and stretches toward your car. You swear you didn't press a single button, but the pump's meter begins to spin. 3.76 gallon, 4.23, 501. You glance around. No one. You walk out, shivering a little in the still air. Standing next to the pump, you realize the nozzle is already inserted in your car's tank. It's been filling on its own. You try pulling it out. It slides free easily. You check the display. Paid. Thank you. No one ever asked for money. You look up, and for the first time, you see what lies behind the station. Thick fog like cotton, and in it, a barely visible path. You feel something like a pull without words. Go further. You hesitate, 1 foot already in the mist. The path behind the station isn't much of a path at all, more like an imprint, like something used to be there but got shy and backed out of existence. The air is cooler now, damp. Every step sounds
muffled, like the ground is listening. No gravel, no leaves, just soft earth, packed by absence. Behind you, the gas station is still lit, still running.
Still waiting, you tell yourself you'll just go a little further, 10 feet, maybe 20, just to prove to yourself this is still reality. You've had dreams more logical than this, but none that smelled so strongly of rust and pine sap. The fog parts as you walk, reluctantly, like it's considering letting you through. Eventually, you reach something unexpected, a rusted street sign leaning at a 45-degree angle, half swallowed by an oak tree. It reads, State Route 91, except you've never heard of any Route 91 in this part of the country. You open your phone. Still no signal. Hey, the date says today. The time, unmoving. 3:12 a.m., just like the clock in the break room. Of course it is. You move forward again. A few paces in, your foot hits pavement, actual pavement. You look down, it's a road, cracked, choked by weeds, but a road nonetheless. It stretches forward into the fog, just barely visible, and behind you, gone. The gas station, the trees, the
mist. Nothing but a field of tall grass, as if the earth itself got embarrassed and erased your entry point. You follow the road. What else is there to do? About 5 minutes in, you spot the remains of a mile marker stone, too weathered to read,
but still standing like a ghost at a podium. And that's when the hum returns, not from inside your head this time, but from somewhere ahead, mechanical, constant. You walk toward it and eventually come to a clearing where the fog is thinner. There's a second structure here, smaller than the gas station, made of concrete and metal siding, like a bunker that got promoted to a toll booth. Painted across the door in red letters, Map Room. The door is ajar. You push it open and step inside. It's colder in here somehow. You're surrounded by corkboards, filing cabinets, and one enormous map mounted to the back wall. Not just a regular road map, it's moving. Roads appear, disappear, rearrange. Some names pulse red, others fade out like dying stars. You're not even sure your brain is processing it right. You spot a terminal, a glowing CRT monitor in the corner. Next to it, a faded sticker reads, Federal Roads Administration.
Ghost Access Division. You approach the screen.
No keyboard, no mouse. Just one prompt, blinking, input, identifier, and you don't type anything. You whisper your name instead, and somehow it hears you. The cursor vanishes. The screen flashes, then reveals a message. Last traveler recorded July 12, 1957. Estimated presence density, 8.2%. Recommendation, proceed carefully. Presence density, you don't even know what that means, but it doesn't sound like something you'd want over 10%. You examine the moving map again. Something about it looks wrong. You suddenly recognize the
outline of your own state, but it's not now. It's as if the map is layered with time. Roads that were planned but never built.
Streets that were erased. A whole network of transit that never happened, but still exists. You spot the gas station. There it is, blinking on the screen, isolated, not connected to any visible route. Labeled simply Station 23R, active, and right next to it is another dot. Smaller, fainter, flickering. You squint, it's labeled U. You take a deep breath and back away from the map. That's when the radio turns on. It's in the corner. You hadn't even noticed it until now. An old wooden box radio, the kind with gold knobs and a fabric speaker panel. It hums to life and begins to play a man's voice, crackling, warbled by age. This is Operator 68. Still here, still tracking movement through Sector Echo. Confirmed anomaly near Station 23R. Traveller has entered the bleed. The bleed. You turn toward the door. But then the voice says something else, something you're not ready for.
They can't see you anymore, but they can hear if you breathe too hard.
You freeze. Outside, the wind picks up. Or maybe it's not wind, maybe it's movement. You don't wait to find out. You run back onto the road, back the way you came. Except the road behind you, it's changed. Instead of cracked pavement, it's now cobblestone. Victorian-style gas lamps line the edges, flickering weak orange in the thickening fog. You don't remember passing those. You don't remember any of this, but it's the only path left. And the map room door has quietly shut behind you, locked, without sound. The cobblestones beneath your feet click softly with each hurried step, like they're keeping time. You slow down, not because you feel safe, but because your legs suddenly remember how tired they are. The air is heavier here, more humid, like walking through someone else's dream. You don't know who built this part of the road, or why, but it clearly wasn't meant for cars. You start noticing things. Gas lamps with names engraved on their iron bases. June, Clarence, Eve. A patch
of ivy shaped eerily like an arrow. A wrought iron bench with a seat too high off the ground, as if made for someone taller than any human. You sit on it anyway, just for a moment. The fog curls around your ankles like a lazy pet. And that's when you hear it. A shuffling. Not footsteps, more.
Like tires on gravel. You turn. A figure approaches down the path, slumped, moving slowly. He's pushing an old-fashioned fuel cart, the kind you'd see in black and white photos, 2 metal canisters wobbling as he rolls it past the lamps. He's wearing a uniform, blue, with faded patches and a name tag that says Mel. You don't speak first. You learned your lesson back in the gas station, but he does. You're late, he says, not looking up. You blink. Late for what? Mel sighs, the kind of sigh that suggests you've asked something very stupid. For your shift, he says. Your relief. You start to answer, but he cuts you off with a finger to his lips. Then, in a lower voice, they listen through the lines. He glances at the gas lamps. Your skin tightens. You nod slowly, even though you have no idea what you're agreeing to. Mel continues pushing the cart, then stops in front of one lamp. He pulls a small key from his sleeve, unlocks a panel at its base, and begins refilling something inside with the fluid from his canister. You ever wonder why gas lamps still burn? He asks softly. No one uses gas anymore, not out there. But here? He gestures vaguely into the fog. Time's stuck, like a record player with a scratched groove. Same part, over and over. You
ask, where is here? He doesn't answer right away, just keeps refilling the lamp.
When he does speak, his voice is flat. You're walking the forgotten routes. Roads they built on paper but never paved. Routes that got denied by budget cuts, rerouted by accidents, erased by maps that didn't like what they found. You
Ask, "So, what's the gas station?" Mel tightens the canister's lid. "A leak," he says. "A bleed-through happens when a station is constructed too close to an old route that was never resolved. Some roads don't end, they just linger."
You want to laugh, but you don't. Because somehow this feels more right than reality ever did. You ask him how long he's been doing this. His eyes shift, quick, guarded. "Since the war," he says. You ask, "Which war?" He looks at you with sympathy. Exactly. He straightens up, pats the lamppost like it's a loyal dog, then gestures for you to follow. "Come on, I'll show you the shed. You'll want the jacket." "The jacket?" "Yeah," he says. "It makes them think you're on the payroll. Makes you smell. Processed." You decide not to ask what the means. The fog parts as Mel leads the way. You walk for maybe 5 minutes, long enough for the cobblestones to shift back into pavement again. This time it's smoother. Painted. Lines down the middle, stop signs. Civilization. Except the signs are in a typeface you've never seen. And the letters aren't English. Mel stops in front of a small building made of red brick, shaped like a garage that gave up on being useful. On the front, dispatch Shed 7A unmarked routes only. Inside, it's cramped but warm. There's a desk, a coat rack, a coffee machine that hisses like a living thing. Mel hands you a blue jacket that smells like creosote and old receipts. You put it on, it fits. Of course it does. On the wall is a corkboard filled with black and white photos, workers in uniforms standing in fog, each holding a clipboard. Your eyes stop on one. It's you, or someone who looks exactly like you. Same build, same jawline, same jacket, holding a clipboard, smiling faintly. Dated April 6, 1943, you step back. Mel notices. "Everyone gets a photo eventually," he says. "Some sooner than others." You try to ask how that's possible, but before you can get a word out, the building's phone rings. Mel answers it, listens, then he hands it to you. It's for you. You lift the receiver. There's no voice. Only the sound of a distant fuel pump clicking. Then a whisper. "Return. Pump 1 has been reactivated." You hang up. You and Mel look at each other. He nods grimly. "You've been seen." Outside, the lamps flicker, all at once. Mel opens a drawer, hands you a key. You better move, before the path reroutes again. And without waiting for a reply, he fades into the fog. You don't run, not at first. The weight of the key in your pocket feels too deliberate. Heavy in a way no key should be, like it's not just metal, it's memory, or maybe something worse. You step outside the dispatch shed. The fog seems thicker now, but it's a listening kind of thick, like it's leaning in. The gas lamps still flickering, one at a time, left to right, like eyes blinking in sequence. You try not to think of them as watching. You head back the way you came, though the cobblestones are gone, replaced by crushed gravel and telephone poles. One of them leans so far to the side it defies physics. Or maybe the rules just don't apply anymore. Maybe you're somewhere that used to obey, but forgot how. About 10 minutes into your walk, you come to a clearing where the fog lifts just enough to reveal something truly unexpected. A billboard, wooden, weather-worn, held up by 4 enormous posts planted deep in the earth. The paint is cracked, but you can still make out the words, Service that served the nation, 1942. Below it is a painting, sepia-toned, hyper-patriotic. Soldiers smiling, fueling up tanks at a gas station. One man waves to the camera, hand
on the pump like he's saluting. You swear he looks familiar. You step closer. He is familiar. It's Mel. But younger, straighter, cleaner. The patch on his chest still says Mel, but his eyes aren't haunted yet.
You stare too long. Long enough that you almost miss what's below the image, scrawled in white paint that wasn't part of the original design. This never happened. Your stomach turns like a floor dropped out from under your reality. You take a breath, try to steady yourself, but just as you do, a bang echoes from somewhere nearby, metal on metal. You crouch instinctively. Behind the billboard is an access hatch, rusted, half buried in sand. Probably shouldn't open it. You open it. Inside is a staircase leading down, dimly lit by green emergency lights. You descend slowly. The air here smells like diesel and, oddly, hot dogs, like a truck stop trapped under earth. At the bottom, you enter a corridor lined with dusty plaques, each one labeled with a year, 1942, 1943, 1944, and so on. There are framed newspaper clippings, some real, others not. Events that never happened but feel close, like a dream you're not sure you had. You pause at 1945. The plaque says, Project, Remote Fueling Initiative, cancelled pending public knowledge. Below it, a black and white photo of a solitary gas pump standing in a wheat field. No roads, no buildings. Just the pump. The caption? Location undisclosed. Power source unknown. You remember what Mel said, that some roads never ended, they just lingered, and now so do the pumps. Further down the corridor, you enter a circular room. It's like a command center built by someone who watched too many Cold War spy movies. Old radar monitors, a table with dozens of red pins stuck in a map of the US. Most are along the coasts, a few in the Midwest. Only one glows. You walk to it. It pulses faintly over a spot marked Station 23R. Next to it is a note written in faded red ink. Pump 1 has never been shut down. Travel account redacted. Confirmed. Bleed active. Do not engage unless shifted. You don't know what half of it means, but the part that sticks with you is the word shifted. It's capitalized. You have no idea what it implies, but you get the sense it's not something you want to happen. Then, out of nowhere, a speaker clicks on above your head. Static first, then a voice. Male, monotone, recorded. Attention, traveler presence detected. You have entered restricted infrastructure. Please return to Station 23R. Fueling process incomplete. We appreciate your compliance. You step back. The lights dim slightly. A faint thud sounds from the stairwell behind you. Something is coming down. You don't wait to find
out what. You sprint up the stairs 2 at a time, nearly slipping as you burst out into the night. But something's changed. The gravel road is gone. Now it's asphalt, fresh, shining wet, and painted with the words, Property of the Department
of Historical Energy. Do not cross. You've already crossed it. Behind you, the hatch slams shut. No lock. No handle. Gone. You look up, and the gas station is back, lit, alive, waiting. Pump 1 is glowing again, and standing beside it? Not Mel. Someone else, same uniform, same cart, but no face. Just a featureless head like a mannequin caught mid-walk. It lifts a hand slowly, as if to wave. You don't wave back. You step toward the pump. Something hums under your skin, like your bones remember being here before. And behind you, the gas lamps flicker once again. One by one, left to right. You step toward the pump, trying not to look directly at the faceless figure. Your eyes can't decide what they're seeing, like it's standing in several places at once, each version slightly delayed. You blink, and it's gone. Or maybe you're the one that moved. Pump 1 stands as before, obedient and glowing, the digital readout blinking zeros like it's hungry again. The nozzle hangs, waiting. You glance at your car, it's there. But it shouldn't be. You walked miles, through time possibly, through memory probably, through something. Yet the car sits like it never left. Like it never moved, like you never moved. You grip the nozzle, it's warm. Not just warm, alive. You feel a subtle pulsing, like something breathing inside the
metal. Still, you place it back in your tank. The display clicks to life.
No buttons pressed. Fuel dispensing. Please remain still. You do as you're told, if only because you don't trust what happens when you don't. As the pump runs, you notice something, a thin wire running from its base, snaking across the concrete, disappearing into a grate behind the station. Curious, you follow it. The grate is bolted shut, but a small plastic tag dangles from the side. Faded ink, handwritten. Line established. July 23rd, 1944. Emergency broadcast. Uplink. Do not sever. Transmit subject resonance data hourly. Subject resonance? You don't like how that sounds. You walk back toward the car, but something else catches your eye. Above the station's awning, something's shifted. Where before there were blank walls, now there's signage. A weathered billboard you're sure wasn't there earlier. It reads, "Powering Progress. Since 42, we know where you're going." Not, "We help you get there." Not "Safe travels." They know. The air thickens again like the fog is returning, except this time it's internal. Your thoughts feel heavy, dipped in oil, but you push forward, try the car door, unlocked. You slide into the driver's seat, place your hands on the wheel. It's warm too. Not like sun-warmed, more like held by someone else a moment ago. The radio turns on by itself, mid-broadcast. A deep, calm voice, almost cheerful, says, "You are tuned to station 23R, servicing all routes, real, forgotten, or otherwise." Next up, a brief history of something that never happened but probably should have. Stay tuned. The static fades into a soft piano melody, somewhere between a funeral dirge and elevator music. You reach for the volume dial, but it resists your fingers. Instead, the glove box creaks open. Inside, a photograph, black and white, edges curling from age. It's the gas station. Same angle as your view now, same sky, same car. But the person stepping out of the car isn't you, they're wearing the jacket. You flip the photo over. Written in pencil, "Do not exit, fueling completes the loop." DG. You hear something then. A sudden click. The pump, it's finished. The display reads, "Paid, thank you. Recalibrating shift." You pull the nozzle free and hang it up. The moment you do, the air changes again, like an exhale from the sky itself. The clouds ripple. For a second, you see shapes in them. Faces, maybe. Buildings that never got built. Roads that ended before they began. A buzzing sound emerges. From beneath the car, You check the dash. The odometer is spinning backward, not slowly, fast. Years tick off like seconds. 2025, 2011, 1993, 1974, 1957, then it stops. You try to start the car. It starts. You put it in drive. It moves. You're driving again. Only now the scenery is wrong. The road ahead is lined with old wooden signs advertising things that haven't
existed in decades. Silent coffee, open till 9. Camp Pluto, now with electricity. Hot dogs, 5C, no refunds. The trees look younger, shorter, the pavement smoother, but the stripes are painted in a color that hasn't been used since
Eisenhower was in office. You spot a payphone on the shoulder, a newspaper dispenser that reads, The Evening Star, June 13th, 1945. You glance at your own phone. It's dead. Battery 100%, but still dead. Your GPS somehow displays one word, unavailable. The radio turns back.
On same voice, same eerie cheer. Today's history lesson. During World War II, experimental fueling stations were constructed along routes that were never completed.
Some believe they were for supply, others think they were portals. Historians still debate whether Station 23R was ever officially decommissioned, but it's still fueling, isn't it? You look in the rearview mirror. The gas station is gone, but the pump, it's still there. Standing by itself in an empty field. Still glowing. Still ready. And behind it, just for a moment, you see something step out of the fog. Mel? No, not Mel. Just the jacket. Floating, empty, waving. You drive. The road is smooth, almost too smooth. No bumps, no potholes, no debris. It doesn't even feel like asphalt anymore, more like you're gliding on vinyl, spinning along the groove of some record that hasn't been played since 1945. Yo. Pass another sign, Midnight Burger, best in the territories. Territories? The air feels thick again. Not fog this time, but heat. Summer heat. Radiating from the trees, from the sky. And your car's AC, completely dead. You roll down the window. The wind smells like hot gravel and old newspapers. From somewhere distant, the faint sound of big band swing drifts on the air, like a parade you can't see. You spot a structure ahead, low and wide, with a green tin roof and tall radio tower behind it. At first glance, it looks like a ranger station, but the sign says Field Office, Depth of Retired Infrastructure. You park. You tell yourself you'll only go inside if the door is locked. That's the rule, right? The door isn't locked. Of course it isn't inside. The walls are lined with corkboards and yellowing paper maps. Blueprints of highways that were never approved. Memos stamped classified project ribbon wire. You pass a desk. A nameplate reads Clara Brenning, infrastructure historian. You say the name out loud. The room doesn't react. Then something
strange happens. A projector in the corner whirs to life. No one touches it.
No one's in the room. A reel starts playing on the wall. Grainy footage in black and white. A documentary, it seems. The narrator's voice is rich and steady, like those films they used to show kids in bomb shelters. In the summer of 1942, amidst growing concerns of enemy interference on domestic routes, a covert initiative known as Ribbon Wire was launched to develop invisible fueling infrastructure. Operating without public knowledge, these stations were constructed alongside unbuilt roads, ensuring fuel delivery to vehicles that officially didn't exist. You watch as the footage cuts to a familiar image. A solitary gas pump in a wheat field. Though the stations lacked road access, they operated on what researchers called memory path resonance, fueling vehicles along routes that once might have been. A new image flashes. Station 23R. Not the modern, ghostly version, but a bright, brand new facility full of workers in crisp uniforms. You spot Mel again, younger, this time laughing with a group of others. But by 1945, the program had stalled. Some believed it was due to budget constraints, others because of what the stations began to attract. The footage darkens. Now, the shots are empty roads, abandoned signs, fields flattened in perfect circles. The narrator continues. Historians still debate what occurred between August and October of 1945. Records are missing, journals destroyed. But one memo remains, its final line heavily underlined. Station 23R remains active. Do not recall. Let it forget you. The film ends. The projector clicks off. You exhale. You hadn't realized you'd been holding your breath. Then you notice something on the wall beside the screen. A mirror. Oval. Dusty. You approach it. Wipe away the grime. You're there. Your reflection. But wrong. You're wearing the jacket again, the same one from the photo in the glove box. Except you're not wearing it. Not in real life, not now. The
mirror version of you raises a hand, waves, you don't, then it points. Behind you, you spin. No one's there. But the projector is glowing again. Waiting, you turn back to the mirror. Your reflection is gone. In its place, a handwritten message etched
like a breath on the glass. Fuel completes the shift. Do not return twice. You back away. Step outside. The air has changed again. Cooler, drier. A man stands near your car. Not Mel, not the mannequin. This one's different. Sharp suit, wide brim hat. Face like an oil painting left too long in the sun. He's holding a clipboard. You aware this is a restricted route? He asks. You shake your head.
I wasn't trying to, he hums. They rarely are. He walks toward your hood, presses a hand flat against the metal. Still warm, still resonant. You're lucky. Lucky, you ask? Some vehicles forget.
They're drivers, he says. But yours seems to like you. He hands you something, a ticket stub, faded pink. Admit one, the loop line. You ask what it is. It's your round-trip pass, he says. Not many get 'em. You try to hand it back, he's already gone. Just gone. You get in the car. The radio turns on again. Same voice. Coming up next on Station 23R, the tale of a route that vanished. In 1944 and the three travelers who never stopped driving it. Historians still debate whether they ever existed at all. You look out the windshield. Ahead is a new road, black as oil, perfectly paved, but no signs, no exits, just forward. You take your foot off the brake and the car moves by itself. The car drives itself with a calm, quiet purpose, like it knows the route better than you ever could. You're not touching the wheel, but it still responds to every subtle thought you don't say out loud. When you glance left, the headlights subtly tilt. When you tense, it slows. The machine knows you. Maybe it remembers you. The road is eerily perfect. Jet black pavement, no lines, no signs, just two endless ribbons disappearing into the dark horizon. Trees line the sides now, tall, still, too evenly spaced. They don't sway in the wind because there is no wind. They look arranged, not planted, like props. Then the dashboard flickers just for a second. Then the fuel gauge, despite just filling up, dips by 1 bar. You tap it. It dips again. A voice crackles in through the radio without warning or preamble. Hello again. This is Mel. I know you're not where I left you, but I need to warn you. Pump 1 doesn't give you gas. It takes something else. static, then silence. You glance at your reflection in the rearview mirror. You look fine, a little pale, maybe, tired, but nothing's missing, or maybe you wouldn't know if it was. The car hums along smoothly, too smoothly. Eventually, the road narrows. Ahead, there's a single street lamp casting a cone of buttery light over an old roadside diner, the kind with red leather booths and a glowing, open 24 hours sign that hasn't been true in decades. You don't decide to stop. The car does. Parked beside the diner is a 1940s military Jeep, engine still warm, even though no one's inside. You step out. The door closes behind you. The diner smells like old fries and clean floors. A jukebox plays, something soft and jazzy. There's only one person in the entire place, an old woman behind the counter, polishing a mug with more care than most people give their kids. She doesn't look up. You slide onto a stool. She sets the mug down. "Coffee?" she asks. You nod. She pours. "Most folks show up here after their second loop," she says casually. "You're early." You blink. "Second loop?" She hums. "You came through pump 1, didn't you?" You nod again. She sighs.
"They should have shut that thing down in 45, she mutters. "But no, too useful," they said. "Too interesting. You ask what it is, really." She leans in, voice lower. "It's not a pump, it's a decision. And once you fuel through it,
It learns your route. Starts filling in the blanks you didn't know existed. She tops off your cup. Problem is, some of those blanks were meant to stay empty. The jukebox crackles, then changes track. Now playing a song that shouldn't exist. It's your name, repeated over a soft waltz melody. The singer sounds like your grandmother, except you never recorded her voice. She never sang. You stare at the machine. "Don't listen too long," the woman warns. "The songs aren't for you, they're from you." Your hands begin to tremble. You leave a few bills on the counter, though she never asked for money. Outside, the road has changed.
again, it splits into two. One fork curves upward into a tunnel of trees.
The other drops into a low, misty basin where the lights glow green instead of amber. The car door opens for you. Patiently. Like it's asking, "Which way now, friend?" You check the ticket stub in your pocket. It's changed. The words are now embossed. "One exit remaining." You get back in, the car doesn't move yet. You speak aloud. "What happens if I go left?" The radio responds, "You remember." "And if I go right?" You forget. You stare at the road ahead, 2 lives waiting. Your hands fall to your lap. The car waits. The fuel gauge drops another bar. Somewhere, in the dark beyond the trees, a pump clicks back into standby. And in your head, faint and strange, a new voice says, "Choose carefully. Not everything you remember is yours. And not everything you forget will leave you alone." You pick a direction. You're not sure why. Your hand moves before your thoughts do. The wheel turns with a smooth whisper. The tires crunch forward onto the right path, the one that descends into mist where the lights glow a soft, sickly green. The road feels softer here, like asphalt over moss. It curves slowly, hypnotically, like it doesn't want to get where it's going too quickly. Trees press close to the sides now, their trunks too tall, too thin, almost artificial. You keep expecting them to shift when you're not looking. The dashboard hums. The radio is quiet, too quiet. You crack the window. Nothing but silence outside. No insects, no wind, no night animals. Then faintly, barely, a rhythm, not music, not a voice. Morse code. A single repeating pulse. Short, short, long. You recognize it. You don't know how, but you do. S-O-S. You whisper aloud. Who's
Sending it? The radio flares to life. You are! Static! You always were. You reach for the volume.
It fades before you can touch it. Ahead, the road splits again, but this time not into paths, into years. There are signs now, wooden, faded white paint, 1944, 1969, 1987. 3 choices, no context, no explanation, just years. The car slows. You grip the wheel, but the car doesn't let you choose this time. It turns itself toward 1944, and suddenly the scenery blinks. You're not in forest anymore. You're in a field, wide, golden, swaying with wind. The road beneath you has vanished. There's only a dirt trail now, barely etched between rows of wheat. And at the center of the field, exactly where no road should be, stands a gas pump. Not a station. Not a building, just a single, freestanding pump one. Its hose sways gently. The display flashes zeros, but they tick upward, slowly, like it's pumping without a vehicle. Into the air, into time. You stop the car. There's no choice. You get out and approach it. There's a clipboard hanging from the pump. You flip through the pages. Shift log, station 23R, date July 7, 1944. Operator unknown. Notes, refueling initiated without driver. Presence recorded 92%. Subject attempted exit at mile 0. Memory loss incomplete. Recommendation, loop suppression required. You turn the page, it's blank. The pump begins to glow brighter. A soft chime plays like an elevator arriving at a floor that doesn't exist anymore. You take a step back. Then you see it, a Jeep, the same military Jeep you saw at the diner, except now it's driving toward you. No driver, no sound, just motion. You don't run, you should. Instead, you look behind the pump. There's a hatch, small, hidden under a rusted steel plate. You pry it open. Ladder, going down, again. Why is it always down? You climb 10 feet, 20. Then you're in a tunnel lit by dim bulbs that shouldn't still work. This one is different, though. There are photographs on the walls, each one you, different clothes, different eras, always near a pump. Sometimes smiling, sometimes not. And next to each one, a ticket stub, like yours. But the last photo is blank, just an empty spot on the wall. A small silver pin below it. Waiting. Your pocket gets warm. The ticket stub is vibrating. You look at it again. Now it reads, Loop 2 complete. Final return available. Memories pending. 7. Inherit or delete. You don't get a chance to decide. Behind you, someone clears their throat. You spin. It's Mel. Again, but younger. Early 20s, buzzed hair, new uniform. He looks surprised. Didn't think you'd make it to the tunnel. You ask what this place is. He gives a sad little smile. It's the hall of options, choices. Most people loop forever and never notice. But you're awake now. That's rare. You ask what
happens next.
Depends, he says. Do you want to forget? You hesitate. He points behind you, back at the wall of photographs. Every time someone chooses to forget, the photo fades. But if they inherit, they walk the route again, fully, eyes open. You ask how many times he's walked it. Mel shrugs. Lost count after 27. First time I was a soldier. Second, a gas station clerk. Now, just the guy who answers questions when they get this far. You ask what he would do. He sighs. I'd remember, because the only thing worse than knowing too much is almost knowing. The ladder rumbles above. Someone else is climbing down. Mel presses something into your hand. A small key. Door at the end of the tunnel. Use it when you're ready. He steps back. Fades like fog in reverse. You're alone again. The tunnel stretches ahead, lit by yellow bulbs and your own indecision. You walk, and behind you, pump 1 keeps ticking, still fueling, still listening. The tunnel goes on far longer than it should. There's no curve, no incline, no end in sight, just bulb after buzzing bulb, casting shadows that stretch too long and bend in the wrong direction. You don't walk anymore, you trudge. Each step sounds like it's echoing off years, not walls. You clutch the key in your hand, fingers aching from how tight you're holding it. It's warm now, like it wants to be used. The tunnel finally changes. It widens into a circular chamber, dimly lit and quiet as a church basement. In the center, a single metal door. Heavy, seamless, no handle, only a keyhole dead center in the metal. Above it, stenciled in red, exit to shift 0. Do not open unless stable. You hesitate. You're not even sure what shift 0 means. Behind you, something clicks. You spin around. A projector, mounted on the ceiling, buzzes to life and splashes grainy footage onto the curved wall. No controls, no interface, it just starts. It's surveillance footage from inside your car. You see yourself, hands on the wheel, eyes distant. Then another version, same you but older. Then one that isn't quite you, slightly off, hair shorter, eyes glassy, still driving, always driving. A voice begins narrating over the flickering images. It's female, flat, clinical. Subject entered loop via station 23R. Shift engagement successful. Estimated memory overlap 72%. Behavior indicates partial rejection of prescribed.
Route. You don't like the word prescribed. The footage jumps again, now showing a figure outside the station. Someone in a uniform, holding a clipboard. It's you.
But watching, not participating. Secondary imprint detected, duplicate presence unstable, correction advised. The footage ends with the image of you staring directly into the camera. Except you've never seen that camera. You've never looked into it. The screen shuts off. You're left with the hum of the tunnel and the key in your hand. You walk to the door. Insert the key. It turns. Not easily. It resists, like it doesn't want to turn, like it knows what's behind it isn't.
Ready, but finally, click, the door swings open. Behind it
is not light. It's a hallway of mirrors, not decorative ones. Rear-view mirrors, hundreds of them, mounted in perfect rows along the walls. All different makes, different eras, some round, some square, some cracked. You step inside, and one catches you at a different moment. One shows you asleep at a gas station. One shows you waving from a car you don't remember owning. One shows you with Mel, but not this Mel, one with no eyes. You move carefully through the hallway, trying not to look too long, but they pull at you, these versions of you, each slightly bent, each caught on roads you never took. At the far end of the hallway is a pedestal. On it, a single ignition key. Taped to the base is a note. Last chance to remember, take the key if you're ready.
If not, just keep walking. Behind the pedestal, 2 doors. One is marked Inherit Route. The other, Delete Path. You reach for the key, but before your fingers touch it, every mirror in the hallway flickers. Now they all show one image, not
you, pump 1, alone in a field, still glowing, still waiting. The mirrors buzz, a single word echoes from them all, soft, overlapping, Endless. Return, return, return. You grip the key, it's cold now, your car is back. Somehow, at the end of the hallway. Engine running, inside the radio is on. The same voice speaks, not a recording, not a warning, just you, your own voice. There's no loop left, only a choice. One road remembers, one forgets. You stand at the threshold of two doors, the hallway of mirrors breathing around you. Behind you, history. Ahead, correction. Your hands shake, and somewhere in your chest, a memory unfolds like a road map, soaked in gasoline. The first time you fueled at pump 1, you were 6, a backseat passenger. Your parents said it wasn't on the map, but it was, for you. Even then, you hear tires on gravel, not yours. Someone else is arriving. The mirrors buzz louder. The voice returns, now many voices, all versions of you. Choose now. You place the ignition key in your pocket and step forward. You step forward. Not through either door just yet, just toward them. Testing the weight of the ignition key in your pocket, feeling the vibration of it, like a living thing trying to decide whether to stay dormant or start the engine of something much bigger than a car. The hallway of rearview mirrors behind you hums louder now, like it's urging you to pick up the pace. The image in every reflection has shifted. Again, now they don't show you. They show the road itself. Endless, black, and this time, empty. You approach the first door. Inherit route. It pulses faintly with a light from beneath. Amber gold, like a late summer sunset. There's warmth radiating through the seams. A smell, too, familiar. Not gasoline, not oil. Something older. The smell of your father's work shirt after a long day. The exact cologne your grandmother wore to every Sunday dinner. The taste of a childhood road trip when the windows were down and the radio was broken, but nobody minded. The door is trying to remember for you, and you realize inheriting the route doesn't just mean keeping your memories. It means keeping everyone's every version of you, every loop, every drive, every wrong turn, every nearly forgotten promise at a gas station where time was flexible and nothing came free. You reach for the handle, but your foot slides just a bit. Something's changed. The floor beneath you is wet. You look down. Oil, no ink, it's dripping. From the other door, you pivot toward the second one. Delete path. Colder, sharper. Light blue flickering from beneath. No warmth, no scent, just sterility. A world wiped clean, a car with no odometer, a gas station that never existed, a self who never made the wrong choice because no choice was made at all. You touch the door. It's ice. And yet, the temptation is real. To forget, to finally forget, to unloop, to dissolve the tangled mass of memory and versioning, to wipe the mirrors clean once and for all. A voice behind you cuts through the fog. They
call it a blessing. You turn. Melna stands at the end of the hallway again, but older this time, not the soldier.
Not the clerk, the man who's watched too many people walk through too many doors. He continues. Every traveler thinks the second door is mercy. It isn't. It's silence, not peace, just absence. You ask, then why does it exist? Because some roads aren't meant to be traveled, he says quietly. But they were built anyway, and now someone has to walk them, or they collapse. You ask which he chose. He looks toward the inherit door, then at you. I stopped, choosing. I just help now. He takes a step back, fades again. This time slower, like he wants you to remember this version of him. You turn back to the doors. And then it happens. The radio in your coat pocket, yes, your coat, not your car, crackles. You didn't know it was there. You pull it out. It's a small field radio. Army issue. On the back, the initials DGU. Press the button. A voice, your own voice, comes through. You're not supposed to hear this, not until the third loop. But if you've gotten here, it means something cracked.
Early, that's okay. It means you still have time, not to escape, but to witness.
You look at the ignition key again. It's glowing now. Faint, white-blue, like it's synced with something beyond the doors. You understand? You don't have to pick a door. You can start something instead. You walk past both doors. They don't open. They don't need to. The hallway of mirrors begins collapsing behind you, each pane flickering out like a power grid going offline. The last one to go, the one where you smiled just once, just enough. You press the ignition key into your coat radio. It clicks, not like a switch, like a lock. And suddenly everything fades. The hall, the mirrors, the oil, the ink even melt. Gone, just you now, and the hum and the car. You're behind the wheel again. Pump 1 in your rear view. Silent. For the first time. Your radio whispers. Route accepted. Identity calibrated. You may drive. You shift into gear. The road is empty, but real, and ahead, a sign. White letters on black metal. Simple. Welcome to Route 0. No return, no regret. You smile, you don't know why, but you drive. The smile fades, not because you regret it, but because the road is changing again, and you need your full attention now. It's narrower here, hemmed in by high fences and old power lines. The pavement is no longer smooth. It's patched, aged, but not abandoned. Worn like something still used, even if by ghosts. A mile marker flashes by. 025 Route 0's Easti 1942, unratified. The parentheses say it all. This is a road that wasn't supposed to be, and yet here it is. As you drive, your radio no longer plays music or cryptic narrators. It's tuned to something else entirely. You. Not a recording, your actual thoughts replayed back to you, only not quite. The voice says things you don't remember thinking, but they're things you've felt. You always knew the highway didn't end where the signs did. You never trusted odometers. You watched your parents take exits that weren't there. You tried to shut it off. You can't. The knobs are just for show now. Up ahead, the road crests into a rise, and as you reach the top, there it is. An entire ghost town, cradled in the valley, but it's not decaying or abandoned. It's mid-function. Like someone hit pause in 1954 and never hit play again. You coast downhill and pull into the center of town. No stop signs, no traffic lights. But the architecture, the diner, the post office, the dry goods store, it's pristine.
And in the middle of it all, a gas station. You already know which one. Pump 1 stands beside it, not attached, just nearby. Like a satellite or a dog who wandered off but found its way home again. You park, step out. The town smells like old.
Laundry and sunlight. Nothing moves, but everything feels occupied. You walk the street, your footsteps unnaturally loud. There are items left behind mid-use. A coffee cup, still steaming on a diner counter. A barber's shears, suspended above a comb. A newspaper mid-fold with the headline, Congress to deny ribbon wire funds. Program terminated. You look closer. The date reads August 19th, 1945. Stamped just below it, edition recalled. You Step into the gas station expecting cobwebs or dust. Instead, the inside is immaculate. Floors polished, shelves stocked. And behind the counter, a ledger. You open it. It's not a book of sales or fuel logs. It's a registry. Each page lists a name, a timestamp, a vehicle. Some names repeat. One catches your eye. Melvin S. Shift 27, full loop engaged. Did not inherit. Another entry, Clara B. Shift 3, memory retained, reassigned. Then in the final column, blank until now, your name appears. Written slowly, letter by letter as you stand there. You, Shift 1.5, key calibrated traveler. Status, undefined. You close the book, carefully. The moment you do, the air changes. A screen behind the counter lights up. CRT, flickering softly. A video begins playing. You, not a version of you. You now, walking these very streets, stepping into the station, lifting this very book. The feed is live, except it shows something you haven't done yet. You watch as your mirrored self walks to the back of the station, to a door marked Control Room. You follow. The actual door is real, not just on the screen. You reach for the knob, but it opens on its
own. Inside, a small room with a circular console, one chair, no windows.
On the console are 6 levers, each marked with a single word. Fuel, memory, access, vehicle, return. Void, and above them a single label burned into the metal. Ribbon wire node. 1 control returns to traveler. You don't know how you know what to do, but you do. You sit. The seat adjusts. Familiar. Yours. You reach for memory. The lever resists, but slides. The screen behind you flashes. Merge pending. You may select source. Your name appears, and beneath it, 22 alternate strands detected. You sit back. Breathe. The choice isn't just yours, it's you. All of you. Every version who reached this town, every loop that almost ended here. One of them tried to forget. One stayed. One
ran, but none of them sat in this chair. Until now, and far off, in the field outside town, you hear pump 1 chime, one last time.
You don't touch the other levers yet. Your hand lingers over memory, still halfway down, humming faintly like it's wired to something beneath the town. Maybe it is. Maybe the whole valley is one big motherboard, and every decision you make is another spark racing down forgotten copper veins. On the console screen, the words shift again. Merge initiated. Select threads to retain. Below it, a list. 2 strands, each labeled with a name you don't recognize but instinctively know are versions of you. Evan S, Loop 3, diverged at junction, diner. RT, Loop 5, deleted path, memory fragment remains, you. Loop 1.5, active key, undefined status. Lillian, Loop 9, recalled during wartime overlay. Unknown, Loop 0, origin trace incomplete. Some are marked corrupted, others stable. One is blinking merged. That one is you. You scroll through the list, every strand a life you might have lived, did live, forgot, then nearly remembered. You want to deny it, but the evidence is all around you. In your pocket. In your glove box. In the reflection you stopped recognizing 3 sections ago. One entry stands out, Traveler K, Loop 7, Control Room, Accessed, Manual Override, Attempted, Status, Integration, Failed. Result, permanent delay. Current route, walking, 32 years. Directionless, you whisper, walking, and then you remember that figure in the fog, pushing the fuel cart. Mel. You sit back in the chair. He wasn't a guide, he was a detour, a failed attempt to return. The control console flickers again, demanding action. You feel the weight of choice pressing down like altitude. Do you inherit all
Of them? Become a stitched-together map of every wrong and right turn? Or do you pick one? Do you even know what you is anymore? You reach forward and tap your own thread, you. Loop 1.5, active key, undefined. The console accepts it.
The other threads dim. For now, the screen goes dark, then lights again. Memory inherited. Vehicle ID known. Next, route unification. A gentle tone sounds. Then something strange happens. The entire room shifts, not spins, not shakes, just moves. As if you and the station are on a turntable, rotating into alignment with something outside normal space. You hear metal slide against metal, a deep ka-thunk, and then silence. The door opens behind you. You rise from the chair and step out, and suddenly you're not in the gas station anymore. You're standing on a bridge, no railings, just a two-lane stretch, suspended in darkness. No sky, no stars, no bottom. The bridge curves into itself like an infinity loop, vanishing at the horizon and returning behind your heels. At the center of it sits your car. Headlights on. Door open. Engine purring. You approach. On the hood lies the ignition key, but it's changed. It's not metal anymore, it's glass. Inside the glass, a tiny replica of Pump 1, glowing faintly. You pick it up. It hums. And then a voice behind you, familiar. Calm, not Mel, not the narrator, not the radio. Your voice, but older. Most people choose to merge. Some try to delete. But you've always been a bridge. You turn. You're standing face to face with yourself. Grey hair, faint smile, eyes tired but whole. He nods at the car. Drive now, the route's ready, the station's offline, you're the last fuel. You don't need to ask what he means. You know Pump 1 doesn't just give fuel, it takes memory, identity, presence, and it uses it to keep this road real. Because once the memory of a road fades, so does the road, unless someone remembers it, unless someone becomes it. You walk to the car, sit in the driver's seat. The older you watches, doesn't follow, just fades. The dashboard reads Route 0 Final Traveler. Start engine. You turn the key, it clicks, the engine roars, and the bridge begins to move. Not you, not the car. The road itself unfurls, like film through a projector. Scenery returns, familiar and not, a wheat field, a diner, a radio tower, the map room. Mel, walking, Mel, waving, Mel, watching, and finally, Pump 1, no longer glowing, just there, silent, retired. You drive past it without stopping, it doesn't follow, and in the mirror, your reflection smiles, not because it's over, but because for the first time, you know where you're going. The road ahead isn't straight anymore. It bends like memory, wide curves that feel familiar before you've ever taken them. Trees blur past on either side, not quite real, not quite gone. You don't remember entering a forest, but you're in one now. A canopy of silence above. The car engine, the only real sound left. The dashboard pulses once. A message appears. Final route, observation mode enabled. Your hands are on the wheel, but you're not steering. The car knows where to go.
Maybe it always did. The radio crackles again, static, then melody. Not a song this time, a heartbeat. Yours. Steady. Layered over faint voices, whispering things you almost understand. Fuel became memory. Memory became road. Road became you. You blink, you're no longer alone in the car. The passenger seat is occupied. Not by
Someone. By something. A suitcase. Worn leather. The initials DG scratched deep into its top. You reach over. It's warm. Latches intact. You open it. Inside. A black and white photo of Pump 1. A faded service patch that says ribbon wire. Technician, Tier 0. A folded map. Blank. Until you touch it. When your fingers press against the paper, roads appear. Not drawn in ink, burned in like they were waiting for permission to exist again. They wind across a map with no names, only sensations. The turn you didn't take, the detour that felt right, the exit after midnight. At the center of it all? A dot labeled, "You are here," not a location, a condition. You fold the map. Place it back in the suitcase. The forest opens up suddenly. You crest a hill and see something below. Something vast. A parking lot, miles wide, empty. At its center, a single structure, a drive-in theater screen. You drive toward it. The car eases into a perfect stop. Lights dim. Engine off. The radio switches frequencies. A film begins to play. But it's not a movie. It's every version of you, every loop, every route. You as a child, staring out a backseat window. You pumping gas under a sunset. You running from Pump 1. You waving goodbye to someone you don't remember. You inheriting the route. You deleting the path. You turning the ignition key. You driving, always driving. It's beautiful. It's terrifying. It's true. The sky above the screen begins to flicker. Not lightning. Just change. The road behind you disappears. The map folds itself. The suitcase closes. A soft voice speaks, no longer your own. Not Mel. Not the narrator, something older, wiser. You've reached the end of the route, but the road does not end with you. It waits, and it listens. And when someone dreams of a shortcut, it will open again. You sit in the silence. You understand now. Pump 1 was never haunted, it was hungry. Hungry for presence. Hungry for memory. Hungry for roads that should never have been paved, but were. You look in the rear view one final time. No more stations. No more levers. No more Mel. Only the road fading behind you, like a dream you've written down too late. You sit there for a while. The movie fades, the screen goes dark, but the echo of your many selves lingers, a windshield reflection without a source. You're not watching anymore, you're just there, breathing. The silence is thick, layered, not empty, just full of things you're not ready to hear. Or maybe you've already heard them in some other loop and they're being kind enough not to repeat themselves. Then headlights appear, far off. Single vehicle, approaching slow. You don't move, it parks several spots away. Engine idles, the driver doesn't exit, just waits. You glance at the dashboard. No message, no instructions, just the steady glow of the fuel gauge, now stuck between full and empty, like the car can't decide what you are anymore. A new message appears, transfer mode pending. You open the glove box. Inside, a cassette tape, unlabeled, except for a sticker that reads, "Play once, never rewind." You insert it into the player. The tape clicks, then static, then a voice. So faint, you have to lean in, not yours, not Mel's. Something colder, something official, to the final traveler. You are not the last, you are the one who closes the loop. But every loop leaves behind a draft. Memory is fuel. Story is combustion. And silence, true silence, is what we burn to keep this place from returning. You stare at the windshield. The drive-in screen flickers to life again. But this time, it shows the town, the one you walked through, empty, but subtly changing, shops rearranging, signs swapping decades, pump one flickering on and off, like it's testing. Behind you, the car door unlocks with a soft thunk. You turn to look. No one's there, but the other car, the one that arrived earlier, now has its window rolled down. The driver's arm rests
On the edge, just a sleeve, just fabric. No hand. You hear a voice from across the lot. How many exits do you think they paved before they realized no one was leaving?
It's not meant as a question, it's a warning. You get out of the car. The pavement under your feet is soft now, not crumbling, wet, like fresh tar poured over memory. You walk toward the movie screen. It looms over you like a cathedral humming, faintly. A final message fades in across the bottom edge. Return the key to end the shift. You check your pocket. The ignition key is gone. Your coat is lighter. And now, on the hood of your car, rests the suitcase. You didn't place it there, but it's waiting. You open it one more time. Inside, the key, the map, a second cassette, a receipt. The receipt is new, handwritten in looping cursive. Traveler, you fuel, one presence, cost, memory, status, paid, and then the signature, DG, ribbon wire operator, final station clerk. The cassette is labeled for whoever drives next. You know what this is. The next loop, the next traveler. The road always needs someone. You gently place the suitcase in the driver's seat. You close the door. The car locks and the parking lot vanishes. Not slowly, like a light switch flipped. Suddenly, you're standing in a cornfield. Sun rising, dirt beneath your feet. Birdsong. Normal, except for the single pump standing quietly a few feet away. Pump 1, new, shining as if it's never been used. Yet somehow still remembers everything. A small sign hangs from the nozzle. You approach, it reads, "Do not fuel without memory." You laugh. Not out of joy, just recognition. You turn to walk. No car, no map, no more doors, just a long road leading toward a town you half remember. You take one step, then
Another, and behind you the pump begins to glow for someone else.
you walk. The road ahead feels soft beneath your feet, like it's still deciding whether to exist. Each step confirms it, hardens it, brings it closer into being. The sun climbs higher, gentle, not harsh, like it remembers what kind of morning you needed. You pass no signs, no mile markers, only subtle traces. A single crow feather caught on a branch, a diner napkin drifting across the asphalt, a payphone ringing far off in a field with no wires. You don't answer. Some things are meant for other versions of you. The town rises slowly over the horizon, that half-remembered place. It looks different now, smaller, simpler, less mysterious. You realize it's not that the town has changed. You
You're not searching anymore.
You're witnessing. A final message appears, carved into a road sign that wasn't there yesterday. Welcome back, whoever you've become. No name, no destination, just a greeting, soft and forgiving. You step into town, no fanfare, no music, just the low hum of memory settling around you like dust. The gas station is here, of course. It always is. Pump 1. Gone, or maybe not visible anymore. You cross the street. People pass you now, not ghosts, not echoes, just people, ordinary, timeless. They nod as they go by like they've seen you before. And maybe they have. You pass Mel, he doesn't speak, just tips his cap. You pass Clara, sitting on the post office steps, reading a paper with no headline. She doesn't look up. You pass yourself, not a version. Just you, sitting at a diner counter, drinking black coffee.
Waiting for no one, you keep walking. Eventually, the town fades behind you. Not because it vanishes, but because you're not supposed to stay. The final stretch is just open road, nothing else. You don't need signs anymore. You don't need directions. You
don't even need the key, because the road is in you now. Every bend, every glitch, every detour, failure, second chance. Every time you ran from pump 1, and every time you returned. Your footstep is the engine now. Your memory, the ignition, your name, optional. The route knows you. You walk until the sun begins to set. Until the sky glows the same strange orange you remember from the first time. Or the 100th. You sit down in the gravel and the road hums around you. You don't need to go any further. You've already arrived. This time you really have. The colors soften, the shapes blur. The road becomes warmth, the horizon becomes breath, and the voice returns, no longer warning, no longer asking, "Rest now, traveler. Your route is whole. The station is silent. The loop is complete." The last sound you hear is the low chime of pump 1, distant and content. And as your eyes drift, closed, the world folds softly into itself, like a map put gently back into a glove box.